What's going on, everybody? This is your resident podcast DJ BK, helping you understand how to curate your podcast experience
the player way.
And as you listen to this podcast, we are completely fanning out about Avengers Infinity War. So there are going to be some times where it sounds like we're going outlandish with the theories. Don't take the theories all that serious. We're really just in this particular episode thinking about possibilities and really allowing our imaginations to roam wild and free. So don't take it too seriously. Hang out. This is the podcast where you really think about what there could possibly be. And after we see this movie, we'll get a little bit more serious as far as a deep dive. So have some fun. Hang out. Episode 49. And next week is episode 50. Hope you're going to hang out with us, because next week there's going to be an opportunity for you to win a $50 Amazon gift card just by listening to episode 50. So let's get on with it.
This is a Play Your Way Network presentation. Get the full story at PlayLifeYourWay.com. In a world where comics, movies, games, rumors, and Kardashians come at you 24/7, 3 champions will rise to defend you from wasting precious time, money, and emojis. BK, Nate, and Derreck will show you how to do it the player way.
It's on once again, Patron once again. Ladies and gentlemen and everyone in between, with all due respect, this is your resident podcast, DJ BK, helping you understand how to curate your entertainment and life in media
the player way.
And I never do this thing alone, but before we get started, we got to pay these bills first. Shout out to the Play Your Way Network, PlayLifeYourWay.com. You can get your curated media on a day-to-day basis at PlayLifeYourWay.com, PlayYourWayNetwork.com, PlayYourWayPodcast.com. All of those will get you there, even PYWNetwork.com. And of course, at that same URL, you can also click a little link that says Shop Now. That is going to take you to our geek shop, aka agencycartel.com. Official chill time, grind time wear. Okay. Ooh. If you're trying to get it in at the gym, if you're trying to get it in between the sheets and between the cheeks, this is the thing that you want to wear. Okay. It's going to make you look comfortable and fly.
The player way,
for the lack of a better term. All right, so there you go. Agencycartel.com, official sponsor of the Player Way podcast.
One would say,
speaking of the Player Way podcast, the scrumptious voice you hear is one of my co-captains, Derreck.
I just wanted to say there was a lot of range to those domains you were talking about. Oh, little math nerd humor. It's me, corrupting the system. You guys already know. D-Rock in the house, corrupting that system.
D-Rock. That's what's up. And at the same time, back this week, we missed you, our co-captain, Corbin Dallas himself, Nate.
That's me. Glad to be back.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Nate.
Hiatus.
Nate makes it sound like the first time.
Bills, huh?
Nate makes it sound like the first time, every time.
Exactly. It feels like the first time. It feels like the
very first time.
Exactly. That's exactly right. That's how we do it, man. So Nate, man, it's so funny. I was just right before this podcast, I was on YouTube and looking at this theory video. This a bit of a conspiracy theory video.
But
conspiracy. I had to make him think it wasn't going to happen.
I'm going to have to take another week off, guys.
Exactly. I'm out. You mean it took a whole week for that to finish playing? Exactly. 7 days later.
But I noticed you guys didn't play that at all last week.
I know, right? It's just for you, man. It's just for you. I love Nate coming through with the conspiracy theory, man.
But what if?
Yeah, we about to double up.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, he had to double up. Speaking of pissing on people. We were talking, I saw this video on YouTube about the theory as to why there wasn't a sequel made to the The Fifth Element. And so they were talking about how, so everyone's favorite actor, one of my favorite actors of all time, Bruce Willis, okay, and talking about how he's 65 years old and he's too old to be in an action film at this point. It hurt my soul to hear them say that. But
you
but they
still
also
haven't checked out Death Wish?
I have not seen it yet. No, it's too much for me, man.
So he's not even Expendables worthy? Is that what they're saying? He's not even Expendables worthy?
He got kicked out of Expendables. He wasn't brought back for the third one because he's a fucking pain, apparently.
Yeah, apparently he's a pain to work with.
Maybe they'll make a Red 3 for him. Maybe they'll do that. I don't know.
I know, right? And then apparently Mila Jovovich married the director and writer of The Fifth Element. And so...
No, the director was Luc Besson. She married the guy that does the Resident Evil movies.
No, I thought she married Passant. She married Passant.
No, it's like the Paul W.S. Anderson.
Put some money on it, boys.
No, she married Passant. I put folding money on it. I just saw a video.
Unless she was married more than once, but she's married to the Resident Evil guy.
Mila, hey, Derek, you want to fact check that right quick?
Right now.
Oh, yeah, she was. Okay, 2 years. Oh! She's been married to Paul W.S. Anderson since 2009.
Yeah, exactly. But that's my point is apparently they had their relationship.
Oh, they were together before Fifth Element even came out. I didn't realize that. Oh, wow.
Exactly. So apparently that was a contributing factor into them not working together.
She's been married 3 times.
Again.
This is her third marriage.
The movie... And that out of that same marriage,
like a personal problem right there.
And out of that same marriage came the Joan of Arc film that she starred in. So, and that completely tanked, and their marriage tanked shortly thereafter. So, mixing business and love, that's something that can get you killed out here. So anyway, so I thought that would be fun since we talking about Corbin Dallas to drop those little gems there, give you some exclusives.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's made like 7 movies with her new husband, so obviously mixing business and pleasure.
It worked for them. It works for them. Exactly. So, all right. So, speaking of what works for us, I would ask y'all what y'all have been up to this past weekend, but I think it's irrelevant because it is encapsulated by one major exclusive, okay?
The Player Way.
Exclusive. And it is that the biggest comic movie, dare I say, the biggest film of all time is coming out this week. Avengers Infinity War. They should just call it Marvel Infinity War. Don't even call it Avengers. Just call it Marvel Infinity War.
Don't even.
Yes, just leave Avengers. I'm telling you, dude. How excited are you guys about this thing?
Is that coming out this week? Is that this week that's coming out?
As this week?
Oh, I thought for some reason I thought they had moved it up another week because I was listening to this podcast. And they were telling me that it had moved up. I am so stoked. I poked a video on the @Corrupting the System Instagram. Went ahead and shared that to Facebook today. That was a lot of mumble gibberish. Let me take that too. I posted a video saying how excited and stoked I am just to see this movie and just to complete this 10-year journey. 10 years, Miguel, ain't I been saying it? 10 years I've been saying it. And here we are. Movies later, careers revitalized. This is so exciting. I can't wait. And just to see this all, I'm going to pause for the cause, come together on the screen and happen is it's stunning. I just need to stay alive until after this movie comes out, and I'm okay. As long as nothing happens before then, I'm good. So
I'm telling you, dude,
it's a time.
And plug that Instagram.
That @Corrupting the System, Dato. Yeah, that's me. That's the randomness, the Corrupting the System monologue that you guys have known to, that you guys don't know that you hate, but I provide it because as long as it provides me humor at the expense of anybody else's opinions and feelings, that's what counts with me, and that's what counts. As long as I'm looking out for number one, that's really what we're all here for, guys. I think as a society, we need to look back and redefine the word selfish and maybe just combine the meanings of selfish and selflessness and saying that, hey, maybe I'm being selfless by being so selfish and maybe I'm being selfish by being so selfless. Don't even pay attention to me. You're not paying attention to me right now. Let's go to the next person, see what Nate thinks about Infinity War. Back to you, D.
And that Corrupting the System moment is brought to you by Attack on EDM by DJ J.O.
Nice. That was a great seasoning. See, that's why you're the resident podcast DJ, helping me curate my life and media.
The player way, indeed. That's exactly how we do it, but in a much more scrupulous voice.
The player way.
Indeed. That's exactly
Indeed.
right. So that's what's going down. Nate, any moments of silences before we move on? Because this episode is all about moments of silences, bruh.
Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what? A genuine one. Avicii.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, man.
DJ's music I really enjoy. Died very young, 28 years old. It's kind of sad.
It's extremely sad.
I'm not too big on the EDM, but there are two DJs I do listen to whatever they release. He's one of them, and he's very talented. You know,
Hey Brother is my shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he was always pretty experimental with his songs, which
Absolutely.
I appreciated because EDM can all kind of sound the same shit, you know.
Yeah, when Avicii came around, there was Skrillex was out. Everybody was trying to do the Skrillex sound. Daft Punk kind of was bringing it, but Avicii, when Levels came out, Levels changed everything, both the radio edit and the original version. And all he did was basically reverse the song and created two different songs, versions of it. So yeah, shout out to Avicii, man. Everybody's gonna miss you, even though toward the end of your life you were a bit of a recluse. TMZ played the last time they saw him was like 2013 out in public.
Wow.
It was kind of weird. But someone who really, in my opinion, if it wasn't for Avicii, Aloe Black, dude. I mean, who knew who Aloe Black was before Avicii?
Before Wake Me Up, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I feel like, I don't know what it is about drugs and stuff that takes people out before their time, but, it's kind of sad, man. Shout out to Avicii, man. We definitely salute you here at the Playaway Podcast. Rest well, brother. You definitely lived life.
The player way.
Normally we would talk a little bit more about our week, but we're jumping right on into Infinity War. This is the thing that everyone is talking about. Derreck, I think you have it pulled up. Shout out to Ian Parsons, as well as the rest of the writers at the Play Your Way Network. They got together and created what they believe it's their own conspiracy theory of sorts of what they think is going to happen in Infinity War. And so go ahead and run down what they think. What we're doing for the rest of this episode is we're speculating on who's going to die. This movie, Nate, educate the people on what happened in the comics when this happened. When the Infinity Gauntlet got all the stones and it got on the hand of one Thanos, what happened to the universe?
He snapped his finger and killed half the universe.
And when he says, he means half of every living sentient being in the universe with a single snap of his fingers just ceased to exist. And what kind of effect did that have on the Marvel universe? Like how did people react on Earth? What happened?
Mostly everyone died. So, it's a story that was, I think like 91. It's a really goofy story.
Yeah, it is actual
he's gathering.
He never
the
actually
stones.
sets foot on Earth.
Yeah, he's gathering the stones to court death. There's been a lack of people dying and death's getting weaker, and Thanos has this sort of, I don't know, weird wanting to court death, who's an actual figure. It's a woman. He's basically trying to get with her, and so his way of doing that is to gather the Infinity Stones and kill half the universe so that she'll love him. That's the premise of
It's really sweet. That's very kind and considerate. Like, if
which
you really
I don't
about the
think the movie storyline is going to go towards that way at all.
Okay, so you don't think Death is going to be involved in this at all?
I hope it is. I hope she is, and I hope the Death character is sort of revamped to be Cate Blanchett. That would be I mean, that's easy segue. She's already playing the goddess of death.
Yeah.
Norse mythology wise.
Yeah.
that would be a cool set. And you don't hire a actress like Cate Blanchett for kind of a one-off, you know? Okay. I don't know. In a perfect world, that's what I would do. I we'll never know until the movie actually comes out.
Okay. So, all right. So you're putting a bit of a conspiracy theory spin on it that Hela might have something to do with this.
If it were a perfect world in my head, but
in a perfect world in your head, okay.
Yeah.
Derek, any sort of theories based on what you know about the comics? Any source material? Anything you think that we should watch out for or hope for?
There's something that I kind of hope for. This may be kind of my own personal, just I want this to happen, but it just stems from what I've seen with Thor happening in the trailers. We know that his weapon was destroyed in Ragnarok, and I'm curious of this mechanism that he's working with, but I want to believe that he is going to get Stormbreaker, and that's really what I want to see happen in this movie. I know it's not as, like, Nate has a much more grandiose, beautiful vision, but that's just something I think would be really awesome to see for this character, because they, as much as I did not like Ragnarok's ridiculous use of comedy, they did have Thor emerging as much more of a badass than I really have viewed him, and I think that should carry well right into this, leading into whatever mechanisms that lead to him interacting with the Guardians, running into Thanos' ship, and perhaps having some sort of access to Stormbreaker, which Thanos may have had from Beta Ray Bill from Planet Hulk before. You know what I mean? It could just be a weapon on his ship. So that's just something I would like to see happen. It's my own personal corrupting the system dato.
All right. I like those theories. I like those theories. Those conspiracy theories. Okay. One of those things that I hope that we're going to see. Maybe I'm playing it a little safe here. I'm really expecting the Marvel Cinematic Universe to be jacked up to the point where everything we thought movie-wise was coming after here, it's going to change how we thought about it. I kind of hinted at this. Not hinted, I mean, I hit it all over the head. The last time Nate was on the podcast with us, that was be episode 47. I specifically said that I thought that I think Spider-Man is dead. I think he's gone, and I think it's going to alter what we are going to expect to see in the next Spider-Man film. So, I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with that character and what impact, if any, is going to have on Venom. Since they are sharing this character, they have, Sony has every right to use any implications of Infinity War on what's going on with Eddie Brock. I would love to see that. I would love to see there be some sort of reaction to it. But I got a feeling that Venom is not going to be that great of a film, and I'm really worried about it. So that's all I got to say about that before we move on to other moments of silence. All right, so Derek, you got the article pulled up from the Play Your Way Network. I think Ian did do a little bit of analysis on why he thinks people are dying and what's going to happen to them. But on our list, we're going to give you some real theories as to why we think this person is going to get their pushed in. So that's what's going on with that. So what's their top 5?
Number 5 coming in is Nebula. And, the quote from the last line that Ian has in this great article, shout out to Ian. We expect great things from Nebula, but she hasn't made the best decisions thus far. But hey, she does know how to survive. Let's see if that streak continues. I don't know. This might be very interesting just to see her with dear old dad. You know what I mean? Number 4, yep. Loki. This is a great one. We did see him don the aura of some sort of a hero in Ragnarok. And we've had some interesting excerpts from the trailer to see that this could be his luck running out, to keep that on a low-key theory. And number 3, this one is a unique one. I'd be surprised if this one happens. And he went straight with the Hulk at number 3. This is what we came with. That one would be very different. And we haven't had a solo Hulk movie because we really don't need one. We don't need a Hulk. No. Marvel figured out after Edward Norton that, hey, actually they figured it out after the first Avengers film We just need to season him in certain scenarios, and that's all we really need from the Hulk. That is.
What Marvel figured out is what DC should figure out, is that we don't necessarily need a standalone Superman film. Superman to come in and help save the day and season in and make the universe better. That would be a great way to use the last son of Krypton. But giving him his own movie, I don't know. I don't know about that. How's that working out for you, DC? Moving on.
They're out camping with the crickets. That's how.
In all fairness, Man of Steel did make more money than Justice League.
Yes, humble brag.
So
because that's
maybe
the type of brag you want to have.
Isn't the answer?
Yes. Well, I just want to let you know that my wife's last husband had a bigger penis. Just want to put that out there. We're winning over here.
Nice. And perfect segue into number 2 is Iron Man. The thought of this does stir the pot of human emotions. Robert Downey Jr. has donned the persona of Tony Stark perfectly. As much as the voice of Adrian Pasdar did kind of help out with the voice of Iron Man in the animated series, Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr. Without the drugs and the career pause. But other than that, we go right into number 1, which I think everybody is really white-knuckling and bracing for. We all are. Even the outside the lines conversation of his contract coming up really lends to this theory as well, and that's Captain America. Not to be forgotten, played by Chris Evans, who was the Human Torch at one point in the Marvel Universe, but he really took command of the first Avenger and has been Captain America. Exquisite acting, to quote my co-captain, Nate De La Vega, with great... Chris Evans has been Captain America perfectly.
Nate De La Vega, I like that.
I know. Nate has yet
that.
to comment on it, and I've been calling him that for months surreptitiously, and I'm okay. It's okay. If he didn't like it, I know Nate would tell me. I'll say that. I will say that. If Nate said, hey, if you call me Nate De La Vega again, you are going to have some problems, and I don't want those kind of problems, okay? So, but yeah, that's the number 1 theory by the Play Your Way Network. Of course, that can be found at the aforementioned domains that our resident podcast DJ shot at us earlier and decorated us with that.
Exactly. I appreciate that, brother. You definitely gave us that rundown.
The Player Way.
And shout out to our entire team. I'm just going to blitz them out.
EK.
I'm telling you.
EK!
Darius, Bink, the Bink, if you will. Larry, Jay, Ian, the other Ian, Wolf, I'm telling you. I already said Darius. Hale,
Jonathan.
Alex, even though you've been kind of absent, shout out to you. Johnny put out this awesome workout, the Infinity Stones workout. I'm telling you, man. I mean, we got an amazing team over there. If I missed anybody, it doesn't... Oh, Jonathan Barron with Weekly Games Chat, our correspondent there. I mean, we just got an amazing team.
We have a great team. We're still trying to figure out what a fortnight is, but... That's
exactly. Over here, we call it 2 weeks, Derek.
Okay. That's right. I learned today that if you hit the gas really hard, you just have to yell America, and it's the best thing ever. I don't know if you guys have done that in your life, but you need to do that.
If you see a bunch of eagles outside eating, they're not eating breadcrumbs. They're eating freedom.
That's exactly what they're eating. Exactly. And that wasn't the icon for the Gestapo either.
Exactly. Moving it right on along. Guys, y'all ready to give up the comeuppance?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Nate, since you were absent last week, we're going to make you go first. Your honorable mentions first. We'll go around the circle, honorable mentions first.
I only have one. My honorable mention, just because I think there's a slight chance, but I really don't think it's going to happen. It's Downey, Iron Man. I can't see. Look, this motherfucker got paid $15 million for Spider-Man Homecoming for, I don't know, 5 minutes. He was on set for 3 days. Like, that's his bread and butter. In the comics, Tony Stark has gone on to be director of S.H.I.E.L.D., still appear in other capacities other than Iron Man. And spoiler alert, if Iron Man's on the screen, it's not Downey. Only when you see his face. So this is his bread and butter.
What?
I can't imagine you wanting to step away from that sort of money. They could easily use him as like a Nick Fury sort of role.
Hold on. Did you just give us an exclusive?
The player.
Why?
Maybe we dig too deep into the conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy.
But what I heard, what did you just say again about him not being on screen?
If the Iron Man suit is on screen, it's not him. It's CGI. 90% of it.
Oh, okay, I thought you were going. I thought you were going a little bit to the left with it.
No,
I thought you were going with the Nick Fury thing that who we see get shot up in the movie is not actually the Iron Man character, and that's the reason why every time we see the Iron Man character, he's in regular street clothes. Listen, dude,
for RDJ, it's
easy.
Hold on, man.
Listen.
That's a lot to
all
unpack.
kinds of stuff. You can't just throw stuff out like that, okay?
That was a lot to unpack.
That was pretty clear.
No, you're being too clear. So clear rivers.
I can't imagine RDJ wanting to step away from this sort of piggy bank that he has.
Gotcha.
I mean,
okay. So you're saying they won't kill the character off because he wants to keep making mayonnaise?
Yeah, why not? If I were him, yeah, fuck yeah.
All right. Well, that's a theory. All right.
Okay, so am I going into number 5?
Well, no, going with Derreck's honorable mentions.
My honorable mention is one of the side characters, and I only have one because it's going to lead into, of course, an obvious person on my list is Pepper Potts. I would like to see her. I want to see her die. Nothing against Gwyneth Paltrow, but I think she needs to die. And I need that to fuel Tony to go into a blind, I'm throwing everything that I can, and it's still only to fail all the same. That's what I want, and I need it to happen. I need it. My pants need to get tighter.
That's not a bad theory either, because there was just a featurette that came out earlier this week that talked about that Happy and Pepper were like a part of it, and how they started this journey out with Tony from the beginning. So I can totally see that, honestly. My honorable mention, is that your only honorable mention?
That's all I got. Yep. I figure once we go on this list, it's going to be a lot of commentary.
My honorable mention is everyone. Pretty much anyone who is in this dimension
has an option to die.
Has an option to die unless they're behind a shield at Wakanda. There's like very few characters I see surviving this. I see a lot of characters being built up. There's a lot of side characters that we've seen in other films that can fit the bill for this. Ant-Man, I love the theory that Nate had about Ant-Man being in another dimension during this, Ant-Man and Wasp. I can see that. I definitely see characters. I think there's a reason why we're going to see flashbacks as films, going back earlier in time periods to find that there are other superheroes out there who can fit the bill and help save the world. But I see every major Avenger, every main Avenger from the original lineup dying. If Hawkeye's in this movie, he's dying too. Okay, I'm just putting it out there. That's my theory. I like that. Everyone is on the chopping block to the point where if they weren't, there wouldn't be such a big deal about keep your mouth shut. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I expect a lot of side characters who wouldn't be able to make it to the skirmish making it through because they are saved by main characters, and we're going to talk about some of that in just a little bit. So let's get on with number 5.
Before, in accord with what you're saying, like the opinions here are based on your movie knowledge, of course, your comic knowledge, and then also the actual real life aspect of these actors having contracts and moving on to different things and all these things. So these are all like, there is no reason not to think that that an option of only Spider-Man and Black Widow are left of Avengers, and that's it, and y'all have to figure out something for Avengers Infinity War 4.
Here's the thing to remember too. Remember just because you kill a character off doesn't mean you killed the actor off.
That's right.
Like,
no one's ever really dead.
You can bring that character back. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole reason why people hate the death and rebirth of Superman. Is it broke the mold. Characters that were dead before started to relive again. Mm-hmm. You know, before that, you'd never seen such an iconic character die and come right back.
That's
like
right.
Like it was nothing. You know, you had to go reach around the back to scratch your elbow to get them to come back. But Superman destroyed any sort of hope that a character would just remain dead. And that's one of the things that Nate jokes about all the time, that, like, anytime I freak out about a character dying in the comic book, he's like, I mean, he'll be back in 6 months. Like, they just brought Wolverine
in the script.
back.
It's in the
script. They killed Wolverine off so good, and they just brought him back. It's like, come on. Not only did they bring him back through spiritual successors, but then they actually brought Logan back. It's crazy, man. Mm-hmm. They even had Old Man Logan and Logan in the same. It's so crazy. Anyway, that made me go back and read comics. I'm like, what? Are you f***ing kidding me?
Nice.
Anyway, shout out to X-23 not actually becoming Wolverine, going back to her old self. That sucks. Women empowerment, what? No. Anyway, back to number 5, Nate.
My number 5 is Rhodey.
After all this survival.
Nothing against Don Cheadle, but
I tried so hard.
Yeah. There, in fact, I mean, it wasn't an Infinity Gauntlet or an Infinite, but there is a pretty well-known panel of Thanos killing War Machine, basically punching him. And
yep.
Yeah, so I honestly, if you want to have a death that might impact Downey, then that's the one, you know. And the guy has really nothing going for him, the character. I mean, you know, no one cares about his arc. He doesn't have a family. You know, he's kind of most expendable. Yeah.
I agree.
I hate to say that about Don Cheadle, but it's true.
It's not about Don Cheadle. It's the character. It's Rhodes.
But not only that, but Don Cheadle's just not the right casting for that character. I mean, we all know who was originally cast for that character. Who would have been much better.
I would have just been War Machine.
He would have been a much better choice, and he's a better actor for this role in particular. But it's just all right. Number 5, Rhodey. War Machine is off the list.
Absolutely.
All right, next one up.
We'll keep it going. I'm right with you, honestly, Nate, because I remember as I was watching Civil War, I didn't care that he got shot in the chest, and I didn't care seeing Tony lean over him, and I was kind of okay with him dying in that scene. So since they didn't kill him then, I feel they'll get it right this time, definitively. Like, all right, cool, you'll do something neat, and we'll get you sent off. But yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and wipe. What have you done?
Give him one badass moment.
Exactly.
Then,
here's the thing I was waiting for, and then bye. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's get on with the rest of the 2 hours of this movie.
All right. So he's off the list.
He's done
twice now. All right. Here's why I think that he gets to live. He gets an extra life, in my opinion. Here's why.
Doctor Strange.
What we saw, so if you think about the trailers, I know y'all didn't look at the trailers much, but the part of the movie we've seen War Machine in the trailer, and we know now that they mess with trailers. Okay, we know that now, that they take things from different places and put them in different places. So just because we see him at this scene in the trailer doesn't mean he's there in the film. But we don't see War Machine fighting in New York. We see him fighting in Wakanda. So my conspiracy theory for Rhodey, I don't think Rhodey's actually in the suit. I think he's in that black stuff in the lab that we saw Homegirl driving planes with and driving cars with. I don't think he's actually in the suit. I think he's driving his suit using the Wakanda technology. So, and that would go to him not quite being up to snuff yet because of him still being in recovery. So, I don't think he's going to be in harm's way to get killed.
What's the time frame that this is happening after? Like, where is this in that timeline?
I think they usually goes in real time, sort of.
We don't know.
It's been 2 years since Civil War.
Okay, so in essence, this would be the next. Okay, all right. Well, what do you
postulate?
The truth is, we don't know.
Like 2-3 years, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know. The truth is, we don't know. We know that everybody's a lot more acclimated with Wakanda. We know that, but as far as when it's set, I don't think there's been an official statement yet. We won't know until the film is going. Correct?
The only reason I'm asking, I'm just trying to figure out where it would place people, and with Rhodey being in Wakanda, I'm like, well, what would have? I was trying to think what would let it, because we know Cap is there, Bucky's there, they're all in Wakanda. You know what I mean? So I was trying to think time frame what would have led up to that, because at the end of Black Panther, that in essence was still maybe right after Civil War.
What I think he's doing in Wakanda is I think he's in recovery in Wakanda.
So I think maybe they were finally like, hey, go walk again. They got these beads. They're really awesome.
Yeah, they're getting you working in there. And that's another reason why
Do you think he's running the Hulkbuster suit out down there instead, maybe? Is he controlling that?
No, that's for sure. No, that's that's Hulk. Because, and we'll get to that in a little bit, because everybody's on my list. But anyway.
All right.
Moving on. My number 5 is Loki. I think Loki is going to die in the opening of the film. I think there's this theory that Heimdall, and the guys talked about this in the article, but they think Heimdall has the Soul Stone, and that's how he's able to see different souls from where he's sitting. What do you guys think about that theory?
I thought that was just his ability, like, period, the end.
I don't think the Soul Stone is even on Earth. I mean, from what we've heard, the Soul Stone is not in Wakanda, I don't think.
But it's still...
I don't think the Soul Stone is in Wakanda. I don't. I think
it's the first place they would look.
They're playing tricks with... Here's the thing. They're playing tricks with us on how many stones is inside that gauntlet. There's a lot. He's going to have a lot more stones than that. I think he's going to have all 5 by the end of this film. But they keep marketing like he only has like 3 or 4, like 2 or 3 of them. You know, like in every still you see of the Infinity Gauntlet, he only has the first 2 knuckles done. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I think the reason why they're going to Wakanda is there's this, and this is a real stretch, but in the closing after credit scene that you have of Black Panther, there's something that T'Challa says in his UN speech, and he says we are all united by illusions of, and it sounds like he says division, but his accent could be misconstrued. He could have said illusions of the vision. So I think the Vision is going to be sent to Wakanda because he's malfunctioning or something. I think something's going to happen, and he's going to be in Wakanda, and and that's what Thanos is coming to Wakanda to get.
Which would make sense, because Thanos would have no reason to go there unless there was a stone there, and Vision being there would mean a reason. Okay.
Yeah, so I think Vision is in Wakanda. I think a lot of people have been sent to Wakanda because it's like the last
That's their
safe
fortress.
Haven.
Yeah, I mean, there's nowhere else
it's
they
the
can hide
last fortress of mankind, yeah. So I think that's going to be where the final battle happens.
The last fortress of mankind.
I think everyone that you see in that New York scene at the beginning of the film is dead.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap for all of them. And I think the scene that we see of Doctor Strange getting tortured, that's after that scene is over with. They leave with Doctor Strange still alive because he knows where the Eye of Agamotto is. So and so that's my theory on that. I think the only person that's going to survive that battle in New York City is Doctor Strange, and that's because they're postponing killing him and torturing him in another.
And he can
well, then how would you explain Hulk in New York and Hulk in Wakanda?
That and Doctor Strange can just jump through dimensions.
Well, because here's how you explain that. Here's how you explain that. Here's how you explain that.
I didn't know you were going to school today, did you?
Hulk. No, I'm about to tell you how. Okay, so remember the opening scene.
We got YouTube education over here.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
No. Remember the opening scene is going to be Thanos pushing everybody's shit in. Who's on that plane? Hulk is. Hulk is going to crash to the Earth like a meteor through space, and he's going to end up in New York City and land in Strange's house. He's going to leave during that battle because he can't be easily killed that way. He's going to go to Wakanda.
Yeah, but you just said everybody in New York is going to die except for Doctor Strange. But now you're saying Doctor Strange and Hulk.
No, they're going to take him. They're going to take him with them. Like, they're going to put him over his shoulder and, like, we're going out. I think.
So what's stopping Doctor Strange from just teleporting everybody out of New York and be like, hey, now we're in Wakanda?
There's going to be a point where Star-Lord meets Tony Stark, where he meets Spider-Man. You know, I
think all of them is
Look,
dying, and I don't know, man.
I think you're completely wrong. I'm just gonna tell
so you
right
think
now.
Iron Man is in that last battle in Wakanda?
No, I don't think the last battle is Wakanda.
Okay.
We're all made to think it is, but I don't think it is. I think the last battle is wherever Star-Lord, Strange, Iron Man, and they are.
Okay. That's a good theory.
Because it doesn't seem like it's on Earth.
Okay.
I feel like that perfectly leads us right into
a better
number
theory.
4.
So that leads us right to number 4. There you go.
My number 4 was either going to be Loki or this one, but I think the trailer is all misdirecting on Loki. So I went with this guy. Number 4 for me is the Collector. Again, very expendable. He's obviously in the movie. He obviously has the Power Stone, the Reality Stone. So I don't think Thanos is going to be very merciful taking it from him.
Okay.
I would along with that theory, but I feel like he may spare him because he could be of use to him just because of his collection. There could be something else that, Thanos could just take it. But he could put him in his minions, and I don't know. You know, sometimes the bad guys are like, yeah, let me kill you, but sometimes they're like, you have slight use to me, you're a man that can get things. But that's
he's a very expendable character. He's not, he's not a fan favorite like Loki is.
But isn't he like a cosmic being though? Doesn't he have like at least some abilities? Like I'm deferring to my experts, my 2 other experts other than me here.
Him and
Jeff
Goldblum, they don't have like superpowers.
No.
They're just really old. They're one of the first beings.
They don't die. They don't die if you don't mess with them. Like they're immortal in that. As long as you don't go cut their head off, they live a long time.
And that's it. That's
and
their only ability.
So long, and they surround themselves with stuff that keeps them alive. You know what I'm saying? So no, they're not. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Kind of like the Watchers.
Yeah,
the Watchers have powers.
Yeah. That's why I was kind of curious. I was like, I thought that they were tantamount to those type of characters in the Green Lantern, but that's why I was asking. Because I'm like, Benicio del Toro, looks like a guy that would shank you in an alley already, just naturally, without even him, and then him. So I just wasn't sure. Kind of what, okay. All right.
So number 4?
My number 4, rhymes with the number that it's going after, and it's Thor. I postulate that Thor could get the business since he's going up against him. It seems that he runs up against him first. So I don't know if they're going to try to jump him out of there or he becomes a prisoner on the ship or something like that. But of course,
he's going to be the one that does live.
And of course, these are my wants and desires. I want him to die.
Gotcha.
I think he needs to die.
No, he's supposed to be theories now. He's supposed to be.
And my theory,
he's gonna go.
Yeah. And my theory is that I think he's gonna go because he's gonna be one of the first people to run up against this, and without some special weapon, perhaps Stormbreaker might not be able to get out there. But that doesn't happen. I think he does get it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. My number 4 is Peter Quill.
Ooh.
I think Peter Quill's going to die trying to save Gamora.
Before they come out with Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
Again, It doesn't matter who dies in this. Okay? It doesn't matter who dies in there. There's ways to bring these people back.
Okay. All right.
So I don't think you need to focus on that so much. I think you need to focus more so on shock factor. They're going after... So
Thor dying would not be a shock to you? If Thor died, you would not be shocked at all?
No, because... I'm
not understanding your parameters here. Then,
first of all, we don't even know how to kill Thor, so that's
beat his ass like Thanos can do.
Movie.
What do you mean? All you have is lightning. The goddess of death whipped his ass really quick, so I'm pretty sure Thanos.
But she stabbed him. She knocked his eye out. Like the motherfucker was still coming.
Yeah, but that's just an eye. That's just an eye. Thanos could probably pull his head off.
The only time an Asgardian died was
pull his head off.
Odin just going to sleep.
Odin died on his own,
turning into fairy dust. Yeah.
It's just I don't see Thor dying, and
all the more reason for it to be a shock if it did. At least give me that.
I can't because I've seen too many trailers. It's just not happening. Especially with you having the theory that he's going to get Stormbreaker. How's he going to get Stormbreaker if he's dead?
He's got
to have time to do that.
That's going to happen before. He dies.
So at the beginning of the movie, when
here's Stormbreaker, and then later when you try to
It's gonna
use it
take
against
2 hours to
Thanos,
go-
it was awesome.
no,
But then Thanos said,
I think with Thor, we're gonna get another repeat of what happened in Age. Is it Age of Ultron where he went disappearing? No, it was.
yeah, you're correct.
No, that wasn't Age
and
of
Hulk
Ultron
were
where he
just-
went
yep,
disappearing
you're right.
and you're gonna
I
get
lost
one of
2.
those things where he just goes to. He's gonna be in another place for part of the movie, and he's gonna probably be with Rocket and Groot. Yeah. Probably
getting
forging
Stormbreaker, so
that's
he can
what I
come
think is
fight.
gonna happen. Exactly, but we won't see Stormbreaker in this movie. We'll just know that that's where he is, and that's what he's working on, and we won't see it until the next film. So that's just based on somewhat. I've seen too much stuff, which makes me angry at Marvel. You're just watching TV, eating a bowl of cereal. Like, what? No, why would you show me that? Anyway. So yeah, so again, but my Peter Quill I think is going to die trying to save Gamora in this. I definitely agree with the guys that we may see Nebula die, but we haven't really seen Nebula in any of the trailers either. So I don't even know if she's in this movie. So if Nebula's in this movie, she's dying. If she's in it. So anyway, so
like
number
that.
3, Nate.
My number 3 is Nebula.
There you go.
That's my number 3 too.
Again, yeah, she.
So we're in agreement on that one. If she's
I
in this
think
movie,
that
she's
would
dead.
be, I could see her have some sort of redeeming death for Gamora or for herself, and then have some sort of poignant scene with Gamora. Yeah.
And we do know
And
that there's a
things
collective
didn't-
scene with the Guardians.
Yeah, and out of the Guardians, she's the most expendable to me.
She is, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So.
Derek. Well, that was your number.
That was my
your
number 3. Yeah, there's nothing else to add.
My number 3. Y'all are going with softballs. I'm going straight for the throat. My number 3 is Captain America, and we've kind of seen it. We kind of seen where it's going to happen already. So you can't just go hand to hand with the Infinity Gauntlet and come to live about it. So I think there you go. I don't know if y'all seen the trailers, but.
I've seen one trailer, and of course, in that trailer,
where a guy does like this.
Yeah, where what blew my mind is just like hearing people be like, "Oh, Thanos was struggling." Y'all are gonna tell me that Thanos was struggling against a man who has the strength of just 10 human men? No, he was just surprised that a human was trying to defy him, and then he smushed him.
I hope they remember you.
And then I hope they remember you for what you did here and what you look like after, because I'm going to make you about the size of the puddle of the shield that you don't even have. Smush. Jumping into Derreck's
Slightly
number 2. Like, let's just...
Like, Thanos could kill Cap without the Infinity
He
Gauntlet.
doesn't
Like,
need... Yeah.
Let's just get that straight for a second. It would be a
Lots
good
of
hand-to-hand
lots of
combat
Avengers
fight.
could kill Cap without anything else. Like,
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Brain mush. So Cap, we've already seen the scene in the trailer where it's gonna happen. So it's just like, get ready, y'all. We trying to let y'all know it's coming. Don't be mad. You knew it was coming when we saw this trailer. All right, number 2, down to the hurt bombs.
2 for me are the Black Order. Jabroni's gonna go. Look, if there's any villains that are expendable, they're done.
Well, Proxima Midnight, they kind of already alluded to that she's gonna get it.
I mean, they all do in the comics. They don't last the storyline. They're minions tasked to gather the stones for him.
And if anything, I think this goes more so to my point. You're gonna have hope toward that end of the battle that somehow taking these Black Order people out, it's like, oh, they think their power scales, and then they go against Thanos. It's like, oh,
yeah,
he's light years ahead of this. We weren't ready. We barely beat these guys.
And all the rest of people that in the movies Thanos has tasked to gather stones, like Loki and Ronan, they haven't succeeded. So I can't see why they will. They look cool though.
And I could even see them. You don't see Thanos until maybe halfway through you'll see him early in the film. But I think never mind. I'm not even gonna go with that. I was gonna say that maybe he sends them first and they die and then he comes up. But no, I see it all being at the same time in different places.
Yeah, I don't. And the directors have come out and said that the person that has the most screen time in this movie is undoubtedly Thanos.
Yeah, there you go. There you go with the facts. Is it just me, or is Derreck's screen frozen?
No. Is it?
Oh, it's frozen on my side. Okay, good. Just making sure. All right, so there you go. So the Black Order Expendables, this is number 2. Number 2, Derreck.
My number 2, as I alluded to earlier, saying going right into Derreck's number 2, is Captain America. Mostly because Nate informed me that that's what happens in the comics. Also, the fact that Chris Evans has verbally stated, "Hey, I'm ready to go be another type of actor," and I believe his contract ends after Infinity War 4 or Avengers 4 anyway. So that doesn't necessarily mean that he would have to be there. He could just be there for flashback scenes. There's no reason for him, and so mostly because of that. And also, of course, the scene in the trailer where he's hand to hand with Thanos, looking at him, like what?
Literally hands to hand.
Yes, like even though
2 hands to 1.
Even though we got this man a shield, so what? I don't care. Cool. Did you get him an adamantium body? Did you get him immortality? No, you didn't. You got him these hands, and he's gonna catch them all day long, wide open. And Dion is gonna put
only
that
a body
on.
of adamantium could hold up to a superior alien being.
Shout out to Scotty.
Is that Scotty P? Exactly.
So yeah, I think Cap is done. If he's not definitively killed in this, he's left for dead or dying severely at the end, like bleeding out anime style, gutted up, like messed up. Like they had to rush him to Wakanda's central station,
like Neo at the end of The Matrix Reloaded, in a coma in Wakanda.
Absolutely. That's actually precisely what I see for him, especially with the possible foreshadowing of Bucky at the end of Black Panther. That's almost exactly what I could see happening.
Yep. And I agree with that Bucky might be the person that he dies to protect, to keep that, because Marvel needs to play to the memes, because that's what gives new life to their films, and the fans have this yaoi ish relationship with their relationship, and if you don't know what that means, look it up. But essentially, it's got to do with fan fiction and male to male congenitals, if you will. So there you go with that. So yeah, I can see him sacrificing himself for Bucky, and then Bucky becoming the new Captain America after that, or U.S. agent, or whatever you want to make him. And then you got my number 2 is the Iron Man himself. Again, we just saw a featurette earlier this week with the 3 original actors, and talking about how Iron Man was, what they were trying to accomplish with that film, and really hitting it over the head that like this story has to come to a close in somehow. I definitely believe I love the poetry of Tony still being alive and trying to find a way out. But I think what we're going to see, again, I've said this already, I think all of the Avengers are dead at the end of this film. The original Avenger lineup, they're gone. And that would help make sense for all of the stuff they're doing when it comes to having these class photos, and they themselves seem to have kind of like there's like an ending to all of this.
A sense of finality.
Yeah, a sense of finality. They've already kind of alluded in other films that there needs to be another Avengers group, another Avengers team. And just because they die in this film doesn't mean they can't come back. If there's any storyline where people can come back, it's the Infinity War storyline. So Cap and Iron Man, in my opinion, have to die in order for their rivalry to end, and for them to realize that like there are bigger things beyond are getting mad, or the fact that they couldn't come together and work together and they end up dying separately. That would also be a good end to their feud as well. So there you go. All right, number 1. We're at number 1. It's the final countdown, guys.
My number 1 is Cap. I think this will have the most emotional weight. And I've stated many times that I want to see the scene where he stands up to Thanos as the only one there, or last one left. And yeah, I think if there's more of a sure thing, it's Cap in terms of heroes dying. Yeah. And he's got the best arc out of all of them. You know, Iron Man is sort of the same person that he was in Iron Man 1. up to this movie. Cap has gone through more of a character change, through anybody else. So I think this will have the most emotional weight. Storytelling.
Absolutely.
Okay. I agree with that. I'm down for it. I appreciate you putting him at the top, man, because we need that. We need that pathos. We need a golden. We need a Jesus. We need a major sacrifice to die
what does
for all
he
of our
have
sins.
to live for? He's a man displaced from time. He doesn't have a family. He's got his best friend. That's it, Bucky, and that's the one thing that made him change all his morals in Civil War of doing the right thing. I don't know. We'll see.
Let's do it. Derek, you're number one.
My number one, following my number two, because I feel that between Bucky and Falcon surrounding Captain America, that they'll try to, if they don't kill off both of those characters in this, because as you mentioned in your honorable mentions, it's an option, that they may try to, in essence, try to keep Cap's memory alive by maybe combining Falcon and Bucky to live on and be the replacement for Captain America. But I had to go with my number one, which could also be the actual thing that spurs this number one death on my list, of being Iron Man, of finding out that Cap died to protect exactly his values, and Tony Stark realizing it. Man, I should have had his back in Civil War. I should have. A ninja that breaks the rules is scum, but a ninja that turns his back on his friends is less than scum. This is going to be.
You're going with the idea that the Wakanda battle happens like toward the beginning of the film as the initial last stand.
I don't even know. It could be in the middle. It could be any. It's. I feel that Cap's death will happen before Tony's death, and that may spur on Tony being
that would give the Guardians enough time to get to Earth,
and it would give the Guardians enough time.
I'm conceding defeat. I think you guys are on the right track. I think we were made to think that Wakanda was the last battle, but it's not.
And
it's not.
And honestly, Iron Man.
So do we think that Wakanda gets blown off the face of the earth then? There's a huge crater where it used to be?
Possibly. That's a thing that could happen. Or it's a thing that, that doesn't happen, and that's just one of the battles that's going on. I feel that after Cap's death in Wakanda, that it's going to have to lead toward the regrouping scene in there, and with Iron Man heading on out into outer space to try to do this finalized thing, because he's grooming his replacement, the Iron Spider, and there's movies planned there, and he's going to try to have this kid, take some of that technology and take some of those values with him. He took him under his wing, and as much as it's a possibility for Spider-Man dying, I feel that Spider-Man is also going to try to step into that role as well and put his big boy spandex on it. So, we're going to have Thor coming down.
Y'all are giving me possibilities right now. I'm loving this conversation because y'all have sparked a new conspiracy theory for me.
Conspiracy.
What if the big twist of this film turns out to be that all of this stuff that they do, they put together this plan to finally take Thanos out, right? It come to find out that Thanos is still on his throne, and he's been using the Reality Stone to divide himself, and they're not even really fighting him.
Not even. And
they finally beat the illusion of him, and like that scene that we see him coming through that portal again, looking like this, is just another one of his clones that they have to fight again.
And that is the actual final him really coming. All right, y'all. And then that's when Spider-Man realized, he's like, oh no.
All of this just to beat him, and he wasn't even defeated.
Just to
He's
fail.
Still alive.
All the same. Dread it. Run from it. Destiny still arrives.
Hey, I need to know, comic book wise, is that a possibility that the whole time we think we've been fighting Thanos, and then the big twist at the very end of the film is that they were fighting clones of him?
I guess anything's a possibility.
Thanos Bushido Jitsu?
What do you think? You think that's dumb?
I don't.
If that happened in the movie, Nate, would you be satisfied or dissatisfied? If that happened, would you be like, "What kind of shit is this?"
No. Maybe I'm just biased because I kind of have my own theory of how it's gonna all go down.
Let's hear it.
What's your theory?
We've had conversations about this off mic, but I think this ends with Thanos snapping, cut to black. And Avengers 4 is Avengers, and he remakes the universe, I think, a la Secret Wars. So it's sort of like in Flash, the last season, the Flash Sideways is a different universe, where all these characters are alternate versions of themselves. I think that's what we see in Avengers 4. And you have one guy, Ant-Man, that's going to gather all the heroes and awaken them for like the one last hurrah against Thanos and try to undo everything he's done. I think that's...
Or he shrinks them all, and puts them...
Well, because I think... So I've told this to BK. I think Ant-Man and the Wasp take place before Infinity War.
Okay.
And because everybody knows that movie deals with the quantum realm. Them trying to find Janet Van Dyne, the real Wasp, in the quantum realm. So I think they'll be there when all this Infinity War shit happens. That's why they'll be sort of untouched to the reality warp.
So
Thanos
what he was saying is, at the end of Ant-Man and Wasp, they're going to come out of the quantum dimension and everything's going to be fucked.
Yeah,
and they're going to be like, "Where is everybody?"
Yeah,
even even down to what's his face, Hank Pym being gone.
Yeah.
And they're
he
might
get it.
He
might get it in this, even though he is in Ant-Man 2.
It's going to be off screen. It's going to be off screen, like he said. I think there is going to be a snap, and they've even prepared you for that too, with Gamora talking about it.
Yeah.
She says he could end it all with the snap, and in the trailer it cuts to black.
And it was such an iconic moment in the comics. You had to wait a month
to know
for the
what
next
happened.
issue, because it ended with the snap.
And he literally
next
killed
page
half
was
the
white,
population of the universe with a single snap.
Yeah,
just because. So like so the next film is like finding out who lived. Like you don't even know who lived. So okay, so maybe
I'd be alright with that.
So here we go. My number one goes to this theory. Then we will see Spider-Man in the arms of an angel, and that angel will be Iron Man. We've seen in the trailer that Iron Man is looking at someone, and he's holding someone, and we don't know who that someone is. I think it's the kid. He finally made an Avenger. He finally told he was ready, and Spider-Man's going to have some triumphant kicks against Thanos. We've already seen those in the trailer too. He's going to actually, maybe he can do this, and one of them legs is going to get grabbed, and he's going to get the Loki business. Doosh, 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 doosh. And get thrown to the side, puny human. And Tony's going to be holding him like, "You bastard, what did you do?" I don't think that it's going to be a cut to black. I think we're going to see a snap, and then I think we're going to see scenes of people looking at their impending doom, and that's how we're going to see Pepper Potts get it. We're going to see this wave just start to go across the land with this music playing.
I need a scene like from The Last Jedi, like that scene where magically you jump to light speed and hit every ship with your own ship. But that aside, I need that sound, that absence of.
We're gonna see all of these people just, and maybe that's where we see Hank Pym. Boom, 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 boom.
Just start
to see people go
popping off Pez head.
I mean, a lot of people are just gonna go, and and it's going to be a question of who is left after it's over with.
Into the Spider-Verse.
And that's going to be the fan theories.
It leads to that. I'll say that.
Who lived? Who got it? Who lived? So anyway, that's our theory. That's what we're going with. If you're hearing a bit of we don't know in our voices, it's because we're at the precipice of a film that is succeeding where Justice League did not. There was no conversations about Justice League pre-Justice League about what was going to happen like this. There were no theories. There was no nervousness about what was going to happen. We all pretty much knew what was going to happen.
There was nervousness. It was just in the WB studio.
We pretty much knew Steppenwolf was going to get his ass kicked. We pretty much knew we weren't going to see anybody great. This is the opposite. It's anything can possibly happen, and it's refreshing to finally go into a film feeling that way, to not know what's going to happen, to know that no matter what angle they go at this, we're probably going to be happy. And at the same time, there's this nervousness that all of this great, this grandiose, all of this winning can all of a sudden turn into this big pile of shit. There's so much opportunity for Marvel to finally pull the oh shit, what did we just do? We just stuck our feet in poo. So I there's a huge, I mean, do you guys not feel that too? That there's a real possibility that they could really screw up?
No. But they have a time stone. They have a time stone.
Honestly, I think they got, in terms of making a shitty movie?
Yeah, of us leaving the theater like, what the fuck was that?
No, man.
Look, they've done this for 10 years, and they've been planning this for that long. Kevin Feige, longer. I have faith in him, and I have faith in the Russos. And the fact that they're so against anti-spoiling. But
too long is not that much of a good thing either.
Yeah, but I think if they're so against spoiling this, I think they know they have something good on their hands. And let's be real, what competition is there? Everybody's basis of comparison.
They are their own
Star Wars found out our imaginations. There's a lot of possibility. A lot of people said the same thing about The Last Jedi. None of us imagined what we were about to see. It's taken us months to unpack that one.
Maybe. I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay.
I just
I'm
can't
the only
imagine.
person that's worried about that.
I'll say, I mean, there's always that option with the movie. I've always, like any movie, I've always thought like movies that have too many stars are always it's either going to be one way or another. With this one, especially like I said, with me only seeing the first primary trailer for this and not seeing anything else, I mean, I have my childhood wonder just ready to be satisfied, and I have extremely high hopes for this movie, and I feel like this movie is going to deliver and exceed. I had extremely high hopes for Black Panther, and it handled everything that I wanted, and I feel that this is going to be right there with it. But I see exactly where you're coming from on that tiny unnerving maybe thought in the back of my mind.
If they're too afraid to kill people
what if
off?
I'm not satisfied? What if they don't kill Cap and they give him a bead before he dies? What if Iron Man's suit was actually end up him being in the Stark Tower in some remote island that he was controlling? What if that? What if
Rhodey's not actually in
what
the
if all
suit
that? And that will be frustrating because I'm like, just go ahead and do it. And even if you do it, you have a time stone. You have the X-Men ripcord already in the bag in case you do something that you don't like. You can reset. You have Stephen Strange. You have the tools. You have the abilities, characters, and wherewithal to fix any
Derreck
possible mistake.
Derreck is picking up what I'm putting down. He's finally somebody's getting it. I'm real. Everybody's so focused on Avengers 4, but I'm telling you,
got to get there first.
I've got a feeling. Somebody gonna get they nut first, man. I feel like somebody else is gonna come in and save the day.
Who?
Somebody that wasn't in the battle. Somebody that was in upstate New York.
Who?
I'm telling you, dude, I feel like the X-Men might.
You think there's an
X-Men might
put it right now? Put it on the wax right now. Say it.
Like that. Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. I really feel
like
they
think Magneto's going to show up and close the portal.
No. I don't think we're going to see any X-Men. And if they do, I've already told you I'm messing my pants in the theater.
I will lose. I better have a warm washcloth ready. I better have a warm washcloth ready. Hey, I'm sorry, random stranger next to me.
If we see one adamantium claw come out of a fist, I'm going to lose it.
What if you're looking at Thanos and then you see him go, and then turn around and you see Logan?
No, we won't see it.
But what if you did?
Saying, like
just what if you did? Hey, we're talking about craziness on this episode. Just what if? You talked about Thanos clones. We could talk about Wolverine's stabbing.
If we're going to go full conspiracy theory?
Let's go full retard.
This is what I want. I want everyone to die to where people being like, holy crap, who could, like, there's nobody alive. Like, except Ant-Man. What the hell is going to happen? And then I want, at the after credit scene, what the thing that set the tone for that really changed the game for all comic universe films was the end credit scene. Marvel invented and reinvented the remix. The way that Diddy invented the remix and reinvented the remix, I think they need to go with the after credit scene. We see a flyover of the X mansion and them seeing what's happening on television and saying it's time for us to come out of the shadows. Dude, and like that be
like
it.
The fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hell yeah, dude. I want all of it. I'll put the turtles in there too. I don't give a damn.
He said sarcastically.
But like I really like
That's
I
as
want,
bad as everyone dies in the New York theory.
So Nate's not a fan of the X-Men being an after credit scene.
The deal isn't done. I can't see it happening.
But look, he corrupted the system, dude. This is a what if, dude. This is a
Conspiracy.
And then you see Deadpool standing there with a katana and stabbed into Thanos' back, saying, May 18th, y'all. See you soon.
And then Bruce Willis falls from the fucking sky.
with a vengeance.
Yeah, we can sit here.
And then a Jaeger shows up to fight him.
And then the Care Bears come out and they shower everyone with fucking love. You know, come on.
And then Superman shows up after his fight with Goku to punch
yeah. Ben Affleck comes out as Batman. You know, and then oh my God, this is the Marvel and DC universe. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm telling y'all.
All right,
Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out and
for
stunners Thanos, and the crowd goes wild.
Yes, a rock bottom, and I'm Britain like a government mule. Like, first of all, as crazy as all this sounds, tell me, Nate, if you saw any one of. All right, first of all, let's just go back to the X-Men theory. If, let's say, you're sitting there, opening day, and then you see that being the after credits scene. You see Professor X and Cerebro trying to find survivors, and the one survivor he finds.
Who do you have as
character.
Professor X? Do you have James McAvoy? Do you have Patrick Stewart? Who do you have?
Or James Stewart, or not James Stewart,
McAvoy.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Okay, and then look.
No, we're not killing any. Looking in the rear window there.
Exactly.
Kevin Feige isn't an idiot. He's not going to confuse audiences by sticking. When the X-Men do come into the Marvel universe, all of them are being recast. There's no one coming back. Only Ryan Reynolds is the only one safe, but everybody else is going to be recast. So you're not going to have someone from a movie that came out, for the first time 18 years ago.
So.
As the character, just to confuse audiences.
So Avengers 4, that's when we'll see X-Men.
So what you're saying is a possibility.
Avengers 4 is when we'll see X-Men. That in the rebirth of the universe.
Maybe at the end, because that'll be 2019 when the deal's already done. But think of it this way: when Spider-Man was going to be integrated into the MCU, they announced it. They're not going to.
You understand that we both are talking about in a world where anything can happen.
I guess so. In a world where anything can happen, I would fucking be a billionaire, living in fucking Bermuda. Like,
hold on.
We could talk about this all fucking day.
Don't be ridiculous. A billionaire living in Bermuda. Anyway, so as we were saying about Deadpool fighting Wolverine in front of Thanos, but after Superman fights Goku.
Anyway, like I said, everything that Nate's saying is exactly what I said to Derek before Derek said, all right, but let's just go off the rails for a second. Let's just allow imagination to take over. I said, okay, that's what we're doing.
It is a comic movie.
Yeah, and then Leonardo DiCaprio comes out at the end, and we find out it's all fucking Inception.
There was room on that raft, God. Rose.
And that top is still spinning on the table.
And it was his lighter that was his totem.
And the ship that he walks out on is called Rosebud.
That's right. And then we find out that he was
Captain
dead the
Jack
whole time.
Sparrow sails out on the Black Pearl.
And then he was dead the whole time.
Crash lands on Wakanda.
A film by M. Night Shyamalan. This was all a dream of Robert Downey Jr. in the original Iron Man.
Spike Lee joint. Avengers Infinity War. Yeah.
My final corrupting the system conspiracy theory is, and then Tony wakes up in the cave from Iron Man 1.
And they break in saying, what are you doing? And they shoot him in the head.
And that's it. Roll credits. No cutscene. It's Deadpool saying, there's no after credits scene during the credits. Just go home now. I promise y'all. If there's nothing here, what are you waiting for?
Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh man.
And then Hancock. No, all right.
spent.
All right, that's enough.
I'm spent. I can't do it anymore.
Nice.
All right, guys.
That was beautiful, Nate.
Estimations.
That was beautiful, Nate.
Captain's Challenge. Let's get some estimations on what we think.
200 million. 220 million. I don't care. Call me crazy. I didn't do it for Black Panther, and I wanted to. I'm doing it for this one. 220 million. Put a stamp on it. Certified. 220 million opening weekend.
Nate?
I'm going to go bold. I'm going to say 255.
Man. Dang it. I want to say 250, but I'm going to stick with 220. Dang it. It is going to be 250, Nate. Dang, it is. It's going to be 300 now. Man.
I think it beats the record.
Yeah. Of all time. Hey, B, I will say this. Black Panther opened at what? 150? Something like that? Something stupid?
I'm going to say 260 million.
You're going to take the over, I see. All right. Sound reasoning. Sound reasoning.
He's so mad at himself.
I'm not. I'm okay with 220. 220 is incredible. And honestly, I'm happy. I'm happy to see a nerd film on the big screen.
What did Black Panther open up at?
If you
like
give me some random banter, I'll let you know.
I think 202 million.
Yeah, it was over 200.
I don't know. 250 and 260. I think is kind of silly. What? I'll back it back. I'll say 245.
You're gonna be mad when you see
the
that
record's
262.
247 with Force Awakens. I think it can beat this. I think.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why it won't. I think
everyone dies in New York.
No,
New York.
I think some of the people who
They must have had a death wish.
Some of the people who rented out theaters are not going to be renting out theaters for this. There's a certain audience that went to Black Panther that don't normally watch comic book films, and they help sustain this. See, Black Panther, if the normal fanboy had turned out the way they're going to turn out for this, it would have broken 250 easily. But I think there's a slightly different audience that's gunning for this film.
Okay, I can understand that. Different demographic, definitely a different demographic. Than
I do.
Black
I
Panther.
think a slightly different demographic. I think it's going to end up balancing out.
Fair enough.
It doesn't have the cultural significance, the representation the same way. I don't see people seeing this multiple times the way they saw. There's an aspect to this film that's I talk about this all the time. It's the M. Night Shyamalan twist element that makes the film unwatchable the second time around, and it's not the same thing. So I think there's an aspect of that. So yeah, I'm backing it down to I'm gonna back it down to 235.
And that's gonna be your final answer.
That's my final answer. It's final answer. Yeah, 235.
I would like to increase mine, just to say that it'll break that record. So I'll give it. I'll go ahead and give it what I wanted to knee jerk to at 250 as my.
So you and Nate are both at 250?
No, Nate's at 255.
255.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so 250, 255, and 235.
Sorry to be that
As
close,
usual,
Nate. I'll still leave mine officially at 220 just because that's what I blurted out. But 250 is. I feel that it will break that record. I do. I honestly feel it'll break that record.
We'll give you the pearl necklace if you did that.
How about this? I'll just take it. Whatever.
For sure.
I'll say it $1 over what the record. That way, it's not as close to Nate in case it does do 255. How about that?
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. All right. Well, cool, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, with all due respect, we are completely spent after this. If you loved some of the things we talked about, we want to hear about it. If you hated it, we want to hear about it. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can DM us on Instagram at Playerway Podcast. You can message us on Facebook at Play Your Way Network. Or you can email us at playyourwaynetwork@gmail.com or playyourwaypodcast@gmail.com. Either of those will get you through. And if you add a coin, then that'll get you on the tour bus. But that's going to do it for this week. Shout out to my co-captains, Nate.
That's me. Excuse me. That's me.
And Derreck.
That's me corrupting the system. I do have one note, of course, as a Dallas Cowboys fan. There is a series coming
draft.
out. Well, yes, of course, the draft is here in in Arlington at the Death Star.
Have you seen that? Have you seen the trailer for the television trailer for the draft?
Oh
in
no,
Dallas?
for the draft. No, I haven't even. Just because I'm frustrated that I'm not going to be there, but it is what it is.
They actually did the Dallas theme song and
Nice.
had some of
That's super clever.
with
That's
special guest and special guest star Jerry Jones at the very
Nice.
end of the trailer.
Nice.
I love it. It was great.
Of course,
Nice touch.
draft this week, and going along with that greatly, another great marketing plan is on April 27th, All or Nothing premieres on Amazon. It's an 8-part series, follows Jason Garrett and the Cowboys in the 2017 to 2018 season, so you'll be able to witness the last season of Dez Bryant as a Cowboy, and they're definitely going to probably throw some more seasons.
Wait a minute, the Cowboys are All or Nothing this season?
Yeah, All or Nothing this weekend.
Holy crap!
They also did a college one too, highlighting the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah. So after everybody watches Infinity War and you want to get that sports itch tickled, of course it is the football off season. You're going to be having the draft, and after that you're going to be able to binge watch All or Nothing featuring the former America's team. I'm going to go ahead and say that as a strong Cowboy fan, former America's team, Dallas Cowboys.
I'm
Pretty.
even-
Y'all don't understand.
All or Nothing
He is
in the Dallas
flabbergasted.
Cowboys?
He is flabbergasted. That's so much. Infinity
Jerry
War,
Jones
the draft,
allowed
and
the
all
Cowboys
Yes.
to be
Yes.
the dirty laundry.
And what's crazy is
That is going to be that's going to be the highest rated season
course,
of that.
man. You remember?
series
You remember when Hard
to
Knocks
date.
featured the Cowboys? That was the one that got
Man.
everybody. They're like, "Oh, there's a show called Hard Knocks." Like no one knew about it, and then the Cowboys did it, and they're like, "Oh, let's watch this for the rest of it."
Yeah,
So,
All or Nothing. So, in my opinion, All or Nothing is so much better, though.
yeah, All
So
or
I'm
Nothing
excited.
really
They go a
shows
little
that
deep.
grit. Shows that grit, that
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Like like Hard Knocks was like, yeah, bring your playbook, and you knew it was happening. But this is like, all right, I'm looking at this mortgage, and I'm wondering how ends are going to make. Well, bring your playbook, and we can talk about your mortgage later in a different setting,
Like,
by yourself.
All or
with your
Nothing
family.
would go back and refilm the last episode just to see Dez Bryant's face when he got the news.
Man.
Like, they would go that far. Like, what? Did they just edit this?
You see that Jerry actually had a button camera in the meeting that he had just 10 days ago. I appreciate you coming in here, Daz, and we appreciate all you've done for us up there when you're OSU Cowboy, and to be named down here be a Dallas Cowboy. Had great seasons, but these last 3 seasons, you haven't been balling out. You've been throwing up the X, but we're going to go ahead and make you an ex-Cowboy. Go ahead and bring that playbook in here.
I fully expect to see a final conversation between
There has to be something.
someone on the team with Dez Bryant. Like, so you think that's how it's going to go, huh? Well, we'll see how that works out for you in the postseason.
And we're going to make sure to release you after we've already done free agency and right before the draft, Des. Good luck finding a team.
I'm telling you, they going to add that back in there. They petty,
are.
bro. They petty mayonnaise.
I could see him going to Giants.
I could see, but
Yeah,
they
well, yeah.
he would have to
didn't
just
somebody-
take a cheap.
I could have
thing.
sworn somebody made a tweet about who played the same position as Dez Bryant, and they said that there was no more room on their bench for that position, and then that person got let go from the Giants like this week.
Brandon Marshall.
I want
Brandon Marshall? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, that pretty much tells you what the Giants are intending to do.
I could see him staying in the NFC East. Like
He should want to.
Speculate, I would say either Skins or Giants.
If he does it, then it'll be kind of faded from us because if we're going to want that rivalry, you're going to want to see it twice a year. But if he goes to like an AFC team, all right, we might see him in a couple years if he's still playing. You know what I mean?
So an NFC owner knows that butts and seats every time the Cowboys play.
Yep.
If they put them on. So yeah, I'm thinking the Giants. After I heard about that tweet,
Eli will sling it
and
to
letting
him.
that
I
guy
know
go who said
that.
that.
He has one crybaby, Odell
be a
Beckham.
good compliment to OBJ.
Yeah,
if he
and Sterling.
stays healthy.
And Sterling.
yeah.
That'd be
I
pretty
see
devastating.
Giants more than anywhere else.
That'd be a hell of a week 2. That'd be a hell of a week 2 because that's when finally. First of all, can I just say as a Cowboy fan, thanks for not opening the season with the Giants because man, I've been tired of that for 5 years straight. But it's week 2 at least. But that would be awesome. Dez Bryant, Eli Manning. Oh, how about that, Dak? 8 catches for 212 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Eli owns us
Giants
at
fan.
home.
Two men who have something to prove this season. 2 men who have something to prove this season. That's a storyline for a Super Bowl. And with that, I've been your resident podcast DJ, BK, helping you understand how to curate your life and media and Super Bowl theories.
The Player Way.
Send us off, Nate.
Peace out, Rabbit.
See you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Player Way podcast. Recorded in a single take from Los Angeles, California, Dallas, Texas, and Atlanta, Georgia, by Nathan Peterson, Derreck Lewis, and BK Jackson.
And I'm Darren Marlar, the majestic voice of the Player Way podcast.
Our opening theme is titled Bound by Ricky Remedy, courtesy of Elysian Records. And our closing theme is titled Coconut King Diaries by Xander, spelled Zahnder. You can find this music by both Ricky Remedy and Xander, and many more tracks on SoundCloud. And remember, no matter what choices you make or paths you follow, just make sure you do it
the Player Way.
See you next week.